Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm rolling out the red carpet for TikTok's latest drama. Drama llama. If you remember Charlotte's drama llama, this is like legit lore. This is Charlotte Dobre lore from like 10 years ago. If you remember the Charlotte Dobre drama llama, please speak up in the comments.
I think I just lost a friend. Get ready with me while I tell you what happened. About 2 weeks ago, I get a text from my friend. Been friends for about 5 years now, and she's inviting people to her birthday celebration, which is at the end of the month. So I get a text message from her, and she's saying that she wants to celebrate her birthday in Italy. Right off the bat, I was like, okay, that's not, what I was expecting, but whatever, it's your birthday, like, let me just keep reading the text and see what this is about. So the rest of the message goes on to say that she wants to celebrate 5 days in Italy and get an Airbnb with 10 of us. She said the Airbnb would be $13.50 per person. I've never stayed in an Airbnb, and I've also never been to Italy, so I really did not know, like, if these prices were, reasonable or whatever, but we would have to obviously pay for our own airfare. Off the bat, it was already becoming, like, really expensive. In addition to the stay in the Airbnb and the travel, she also let us know in a group chat that she wanted to get a boat for a day, which would be an additional cost, and that there would be 2 nights where we would have like a 7 or 8 course dinner that would not be included in the trip. This is a lot. It then went on to say that everything else would be taken care of, just that we would have to tip the staff in the room and all of that. I'm just like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to participate. I text her privately and I'm just like, hey, super excited for you to celebrate your birthday in Italy. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. She writes me back asking why. I just write her, I'm like, oh, getting that time away from work and being able to travel, like that just would not really be responsible for me right now. And just something when you get back to the city, like maybe a dinner or a spa day, whatever, like I can totally come. She's just basically saying, I don't understand why you can't come. I'm giving you advance notice.
Okay, it's not about advance notice. Listen, it's your birthday. You can do whatever the hell you want on your birthday. If you want to be extras and you want to go to Italy with your friends, by all means. Like that's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot, bestie. Okay, but if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. However, Mike heard that. However, you cannot be mad at people for not being able to afford that, okay? That is extra. That is a lot. I don't care if you're getting discounts here and there on like, food or whatever. Like, you're looking at like several $1,000s, okay? Not everybody can afford that. And not everybody wants to do that. I'm sorry. No, absolutely not. I just like literally hate being a burden to other people. Like, I'm starting to look at like wedding stuff and like, we have the idea that we might do something destination, but we want to make it as easy and as inexpensive for people as possible. And by the way, that's a wedding. This is a birthday, okay? Your birthday comes every year.
I want to celebrate my birthday. You were just asking me what I want to do for my birthday. This is what I want to do. I would love to have you there. She writes back like, also for the Airbnb that I want to get, it really works well with 10 people, and that way we can keep the cost down. And I was just like,
oh, that's why she wants you there?
You can't go. I'm giving you such long notice. And then it just stops for like 3 days. We don't talk. And I'm like, okay, whatever. She posts a story on Instagram. One of those stories that she shared, somebody else's post, says, moving into like a new season on life, I'm no longer hanging out with broke people. Your network is your net worth, like all of these things. I text her and I'm like, hey, like, is everything okay? Like, I saw your Instagram post. And she writes back, she's just like, oh, which post are you talking about? And I was like, your story that said that you were moving into like a new season and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, what about it? And I'm like,
that's passive aggressive.
Is everything okay? Who are you talking about? She's like, what do you think I'm like talking about you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm wondering if you are because of everything that's going on with your birthday. Now, mind you, I have known her for about 5 years. So I'm in a little bit of a shock when she's responding this way. So I'm just like, okay, like I don't, I'm sorry if you're upset that I can't come to your birthday. Like I thought I explained myself pretty well. She just writes me back and she's like, babe, like it's really not that serious. You don't need to take everything online so seriously. Oh, that was 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard anything from her since. I've tried texting, I've tried calling, absolutely nothing. So I'm really not sure where we stand right now. Part of me feels, really bad, but the other part of me is kind of just like, you were clear.
Don't.
So the other part of me is like kind of sad, and I don't really know what I should do, if I should reach out again or just like wait till after her birthday, see how it all plays out. Here's the final look. Hope you guys like it. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
I do.
Anyone else can relate to this. Like, what did you do in this situation? You remain friends with the person.
I mean, listen, if she's gonna hold that over your head, not everybody's in the same financial position as you, okay? And it's just funny because this person who expects all the bells and whistles for their birthday, she expects people to show up in droves and spend thousands of dollars on her birthday. Those are the same people that will totally forget about your birthday. Like, I guarantee you, this doesn't know when your birthday is. You should ask her, by the way. You should ask her, be like, okay, Well, like, just out of curiosity, do you like happen to know when my birthday is? Listen, we're all getting to an age, and I know that because I look at my demographics. We're not all having, the crazy birthday parties anymore. Like, I feel like maybe when you do like 50 years old or something like that, you can have like a crazy birthday. 30's another big one. But like, realistically, we're not all showing up in droves for people's birthdays anymore. Like, it's gonna be like,
okay, is it like free? Am I available?
I would way rather have like an intimate birthday where I like take out a friend, we have like a nice dinner together, we do a nice spa day, than to like spend thousands of dollars on a birthday trip. It's just silly. And like, I would feel bad asking that of people. How do you not feel bad?
But wait, we have a part 2.
I definitely just lost a friend, so get ready with me while I give you an update on what happened with text messages and screenshots. So I wake up to 3 or 4 text messages from my friend, pissed off that I made a video. She saw the video that I made talking about her birthday, and she went off on these messages. Basically just saying like, why did you make a video about me, painting me in a bad light and making it seem like I was taking advantage of you and all of these things, because now you have a bunch of people just thinking that I'm a bad person. And at first when I was reading them, I guess I could understand why somebody would be mad if they had their friend make a video about them on social media. But then I went on to read the messages, and it was just kind of, she was calling me petty, saying, be for real, like, why would you do something like this? You're just mad that you can't afford to go on the trip, and all these other things. And I was just like,
listen, was this not the same person that posted on social media that she doesn't hang out with broke people? Why is she allowed to post that, but you're not allowed to tell a story? And if people draw conclusions from that story, they draw those conclusions. I don't actually think that you painted her in a bad light at all. It's just people's interpretation of that puts her in a bad light. Like, it's not your fault that she puts herself in a bad light. We don't like bad lighting here. We got the beauty light. We got the diffuser. We don't have no bad light. No bad light, no bad energy.
This is really crazy because I made a video. I didn't state your name, and this is what I responded back to her. I didn't state your name in the video. I didn't tag you. I also said that I look so stupid right now, and that the entire group chat that I was in, she removed me from the group chat on WhatsApp, but the entire group chat that I was in is apparently laughing at me right now. They're all just kind of thinking that I look really petty and stupid, and I'm just jealous that I can't go on this trip. I try to like not get like worked up and upset over it, because it really brings me back to when I was in high school and friendships would sort of end this way. The rest of that message was just like, imagine being in your feelings because you can't go on a trip. I'm like, wow, like she's going off, like she's obviously really upset. So for a minute I was thinking, okay, should I take the video down? But then I was like, no, I didn't say her name. Like, I didn't. Nobody knows who I'm talking about. She also sent me like one of those voice note things, but I think that was honestly just a butt dial, because it just sounded like it was a group of people sort of laughing. Like, nothing was really even said. So I respond, and I'm just like, wow, like I don't even know why you're acting like this towards me, because I honestly really don't. I have no idea if there's something going on that I have nothing to do with, and I'm talking about like a complete change in someone's personality towards me. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just so confused. And another thing that I noticed is that I had not heard from her in about 2 weeks. Suddenly I make a video, she sees it, which I felt like there was a good chance that she was going to see the video, and then she contacts me. For me, that's something like, okay, so you was never gonna say anything if I didn't say anything publicly at all. Then she calls me because she has some stuff at my store that she obviously is going to want to pick up. But while we were on the phone, she's like, okay, like I hope you're not going to try to keep my stuff at your store either. Like, I'm going to need to come and pick those up. And then I'm like, yeah, like obviously I'm not going to keep your stuff. Like, you're about to just be arguing and beefing with yourself online, because there's no way that I'm going back and forth with you on a social media platform when we just have each other's numbers, and we could duke it out that way. And I'm like, duke it out. I'm like, why are you so angry?
Duke it out.
On the phone. I'm like, why are you so angry? Responds back, she's like, I'm not angry. She's like, you're the one who's angry making videos on social media. I feel like I'm being gaslighted, because I'm like, I said, you're the one who was posting memes and stuff on your stories.
Literally.
Clearly about me. And she's like I said
literally.
Before, she's like, you can't be thinking every single thing online is about you. And I'm like, but the
timing,
neither
can she.
Timing of what you said, and also what you just said in your messages, calling me brokey and all that stuff, it literally sounds like you were talking about me publicly.
True.
Before I even made any video explaining what happened, which I'm allowed to do. So hours go by, and she texts me again, and she's just like, I just feel like if you had a problem, you should have just came to me instead of going to social media. I'm gonna send my brother to the store to pick up my stuff that I have there. And I'm just like, haven't said anything back. I don't really know everyone who was going to be going on the trip. I probably only know like 3 or 4 other women besides her, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be friends with any of the people in the group chat, because at this point it's really awkward. I'm not really just losing, one friend. I feel like I'm, just kind of outcasted by a group of women City, and they go to places that I go to, so it's not like I'm not going to see these people. And it just, for me, it's just so awkward. Feels like Mean Girl. After reading the comments under that video, I did not even realize that that was just a price that was completely like insane, because I had never been to Italy. And like I said, I had never really rented an Airbnb with 10 people.
Okay, like, it's not just like Italy, it's the fact that she wants to go on a destination birthday trip. That is a lot for people. I'm willing to do that for like a bachelorette, and that's only if I really like you. I'm not going on no bachelorette trip that's thousands of dollars if I don't consider you a very, very, very close friend. But a birthday? And like, I feel like she was just like, the way that she put it, like,
Oh yeah, like we kind of need 10 people and like it would just be, you know, make the price better for everyone.
so that's why you invited me? Like, okay, nice to know your thought process on that. No, it's extra. It's extra. But the thing is like, if that's what you want to do and you have friends that want to go with you, and I'm sure you guys will have a great time, but you cannot be mad if someone cannot not only muster up thousands of dollars, but also take the time off work. Not everybody would be able to do that, and not everybody would want to do that. Like, normalize just being like, yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to. Sorry.
Sure what was going on in that sense financially with her, what she was doing. I'm not even sure if anybody else in the group is agreeing to this. I don't know if they worked something else out. I absolutely have no idea. Like I said, like, I am now out of the group chat. It's really hard at this age to make friends, especially in a city like New York. So that does suck, and that's very awkward for me. This is the final look. Hope you guys like it. I went with a new big wig. Thank you guys for listening to this crazy personal story of mine. And yeah, losing friends, I guess, is part of life. So on to bigger and better things. I'll see you guys soon.
Okay, but to be fair though, babe, like, I don't really feel like you lost much of a friend. If she was gonna get mad that you, like, you know, didn't really feel like this was an expense that you could manage, if she was gonna go online and like talk crap about you and say, oh, like, you know, demean you and say you're broke and stuff, and she doesn't want to be around you because you don't have like enough money, like, that's, or about anybody. The fact that you would, even if it wasn't about you, the fact that she's going online and saying that about someone, like, you didn't go online and say that about her. You just said, I feel like I'm losing a friend. I feel very sad. This is the situation. Not,
oh, like, this, like, she's just so insane. Like, she's spending all this money, blah, blah, blah.
No, she got mad because I'm assuming that there were a lot of people that were like, what the is this girl on? Asking people to spend thousands of dollars on her birthday. You're cray cray. She saw that. She saw the public response and she didn't like it. You didn't lose a friend, an enemy was revealed, literally. Like, I don't really feel like this girl was much of a friend to begin with. I don't think you lost much. Babe, it's not that serious. Don't take things online so serious is how you should respond. Literally, like, how is it that what she posted, which is super, like, snobby, how is what she posted okay, but what you posted not okay? Yeah, she called you brokey. Like, give me a frickin' break, dude. You're gonna be brokey after your birthday trip. The moment she mentioned your new apartment, you should have known it's beyond the trip. Yeah, it's she's got a hate on for you, honey. Your video actually helped me. I was really upset a friend of mine didn't say yes to my birthday trip, and your video gave me perspective. Good, I'm glad that you learned something, girl. And listen, like I said, for the third time, it's your birthday. You can do whatever the hell you want, but you can't expect everybody to be able to afford it, okay? I would say, like, in a situation like that, I would, you know, offer to take a friend out for dinner. I would, you know, be like, I'll come over with snacks. We'll have, like, you know, an intimate thing where we actually get to spend time together, you know, that kind of thing. Make up for the fact that you can't be there for a friend's birthday, but, like, you know, not everybody can afford it. Same with bachelorettes, same with weddings, you know, like, it's just, if you're gonna have a destination anything, you have to be okay with people not coming. Oh God, I don't think we can show this. Oh God. The beach? Really? At the beach. Did you all see the video of the people in the park and you're like,
Oh, like, I'm gonna do that too.
ew. Like, let me just take a look around. Look at this. Okay, there's kids. There's one kid is right here. Just by this video, I can see that there is one kid in the background. At least one kid in the background on a public beach. Foul.
Yes, I thought about doing this, but not until after the fact, because everything happened so fast. I was just in shock. But the good news is that my sister's boyfriend actually threw a rock at them, but of course they didn't notice because they were doing busy, you know what. And a lot of people are saying, mind your own business, blah, blah, blah.
And no.
But it's like, how am I supposed to mind my own business?
They're not minding their business.
Right next to us. And here's
in
another
your
thing
business.
people are saying. They thought that we pulled up next to them. No, they literally sat down right next to us. And I got weird vibes from the beginning. It was weird because they weren't even talking to each other. They were just like so drunk and just like listening to music, blasting Spanish music. And even before that, they were so unbothered that we had an umbrella. That blue umbrella that you see in the video was our umbrella. And the wind was so strong that it literally flew on them. And they didn't even care. They didn't even react to anything. And you clearly saw they didn't even react to the cops or nothing.
I will not be minding my business, especially when my business is being disrupted by your business that you are conducting on the beach, Missy, Mister. Skeeful. The people that are telling you to mind your own business at this video also want to be able to do exactly what this couple is doing in public. Like, why defend them? I don't get it. Stop defending them!
17 and a half years married, 4 kids. I begged this man, please, Ken, I've never been out of the U.S. Can we please go out of the U.S.? No. I get a text from him 5 minutes ago. What does it say? Hey, I need your permission. It's in the planning, but me and Eric, his fiance, are taking her kids and he wants to take Kylie to Mexico. 17 and a half years. And now you're giving this woman everything that I begged you for.
Oh, girly pop. It is so true. If he wanted to, he would. And guess what? He does want to, just not with you. That's what's up. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because we accept what we think we deserve. Let that sink in. You should not be accepting this. And I'm guilty of it too, believe me. I have accepted. Not so much now. I'm pretty happy now, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm just saying I accepted some pretty terrible treatment. And it wasn't until I stopped accepting that treatment did I get the treatment that I deserved. Cause like you give them an inch and they'll take a mile, okay? It's like even boils down to someone saying like,
Oh, I don't want a relationship.
right, you know, like you're seeing someone and he's like,
Oh, I'm not interested in a relationship right now.
and then like 1 week later he's dating someone like officially and it's like, no, bestie, he just didn't want a relationship with you. Me, I'm bestie. I'm talking to myself. Financial freedom would solve everything for a lot of women. Okay, all right, this is a very hot take. I do agree with this, okay? I do think it's good to have your own things going on. I think it's sad that you rely on this man, bestie, for a vacation. You should be able to take yourself on a vacation if you want to. It shouldn't be up to him. They always give the next girl or other girl the things you begged for because he remembers you wanting it so bad and he thinks it'll make her happy. That part. Or maybe they do it to spite you, you know? He just wanted you to know they are going. Interesting that was the next comment down the line. It's like,
Oh, well, I f***ed up once. I'm not gonna do it again.
men change for the right one. If he's not doing it for you, you ain't the one. That is sad. That is very, very sad. But hey, go out and get your bag, bestie. Go get that bag. Take yourself on a vacation. You don't need anybody to provide for you, okay? You don't. That time I moved a guy's hairline in his sleep and he tried to put it back.
That time I moved a guy's hairline in his sleep and tried to put it back. Yo, I'm not even mad. That is really, really cool. I'm all for it. Why not? If someone's confidence is being affected by the fact that they're losing their hair, women get hair extensions, we get eyelash extensions, we do all the bells and whistles, okay? If a man can't do this for himself, it's a cruel world we live in. That is crazy though, that it's coming off in chunks like that. Like, that looks really good. Like, I'm like, wow, pretty decent. Our turn to request swimming on a first date. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. But hey, I don't mind it. It's not a problem for me. If someone is balding and they want to do that, like, by all means, wear your toupees, get your plugs, get your hair transplants, do all of it. If it's gonna make you feel confident, honey, do it. It's wild that, like, you can even push it around like that. Grabs liquid eyeliner from At least you can draw the hair like strokes. That actually looks rather blunt. Like, that is a blunt edge. Perhaps drawing the strokes would look good. The way I would have urgently gathered my belongings.
When someone decides to purposely go through the dance.
Oh. Oh, okay, so they know it? Well, this wasn't planned? No, this has to have been... Oh, that was planned. That was not. That was not... Okay, I thought you were talking about that couple. Oh, come on. Buddy. Okay. Listen, all right. On the one hand, I'm like, this is a public street. You can do whatever the hell you want. But, like, come on. He was doing that to be a dick. Like, he was. It's one thing if an influencer is just, like, taking photos and being kind of obnoxious and whatever. I'm like, wow, this is a performance. Like, this is amazing. These guys are artists. Let's it's like, would you stand in front of a busker and kind of, like, heckle them and stuff? Like, probably not, right? Like, that's not the same thing as kind of like walking in front of an influencer that's like taking a photo and being obnoxious, okay? These people are artists. They're doing a video shoot. Yes, it's a public street and people can walk if they want to, but like, you don't have to walk through the formation. Through the formation? There's very clearly room on this sidewalk to avoid them, okay? I feel like this is the wrong audience for this, this take. I think half of you are going to be like,
Man, Charlotte, they're doing it in the middle of the street. They're allowed to do whatever they want, so is he.
It's like, okay, yes, but like, you don't have to. You don't have to. That's just me though. Like, I will see people doing this in public and I will like, you know, get another angle. Like, I will push people aside and be like, there is art being created here. Move aside. Step aside. Behold, the artists. Yeah, that's horrible, but so is blocking off 90% of a street. Yes, I get where you're coming from as well. I do. But like, still though, still. Public place, it warmed my heart when he walked through. Okay, see, I'm in the minority. I am. Work at the Roundhouse Pub in the background. It's a public footpath. They just dance for like 8 hours and you can't get past. Okay, that's not okay. That's not okay. 8 hours is too long. Too long! And the worst part is they think it's cool and funny when the people performing had probably practiced tirelessly for more than 2 weeks. Yes, this is the thing. They probably did practice, you know, but I mean, you can't block a public street for 8 hours, you know. I'm surprised that we can even do that without a permit. I'm curious to know what you guys think because I feel like we're going to be a little divided. In my personal opinion, I would have waited to see when they were finished. I would have watched. I wasn't there. I couldn't see, you know, like how much space was on the sides of it. Could this man have gone around? I don't know. We can't really tell.
Guys, I can't believe what just happened. This girl, I don't want to put her on blast, but this girl took me out to the restaurant and now she's telling me after we ordered, she ain't got enough money. I'm shaking. Like, why would you waste my time? Why would you bring me out? My time is actually valuable.
Yeah, but you didn't.
No. It's not how this works, guys. I can't actually believe it. Like, what is the point? If you're not in a position to date, don't be dating. Work on yourself first.
I have money though.
Oh, you have money?
Yeah.
Do you have enough? Because I don't do 50-50. The other guys are willing to do 50-50. I'm not doing no 50-50. So can you pay this girl, yes or no?
I don't know how much it is. I don't know if I have
Absolutely
enough.
Shocking. You know what? I'm gonna get someone to come pick me up. Get another girl to come pick me up. This is absolutely disgusting.
Okay, someone has been watching a little too much Share 7. I really hope that for your sake that this is satire. Don't settle for broke women. Soft guy era, drizzle. Oh, I see how it is. Oh, okay, so drizzle instead of sprinkle. I think drizzle is a little gross, I'm not gonna lie. Like just a drizzle. Not a fan of the word drizzle, honestly, but okay. Very traumatic. I hope you are fine, King. Thank you, King. Still recovering. Yes, King. You know, when you flip it, it kind of does sound lame. Like we say yes, queen, and sprinkle, but like it doesn't hit the same when you flip it. With a drizzle moment, it means we will be asking men out and proposing. Are we not already doing that? Like realistically. Subscribe. This coworker drama left me speechless. Well, not entirely. I do like to talk. Am I the a-hole for stepping back and letting my trainee suffer the consequences of his actions? Background info. I, 35 female, work for the government with a large team of about 10 people. Most of what we do is customer facing. Recently, there were 2 new additions to our team that we desperately needed. Most of the team has been there for 20 plus years, and though they're very friendly, they do take their time to warm up to the newcomers. As I was one of the newest additions to the team, been there about 2 years, I was asked to help train one of the newcomers, as the teammates who've been there longer do not like taking the time to train, let others shadow, etc. I now understand why. Lol. The trainee, let's call him Raj, 32-ish male, seemed pretty eager and energetic. He loves chatting, which I do too, so we bonded quite quickly. Specifically, as we are the only 2 people in our team that are immigrants that have previously lived in multiple different countries. The issue began as I noticed Raj was very chatty, to the point where he would forget about the time, and we would end up always being a couple minutes late to our appointments. I kept reminding him of the time, but it seems like he takes appointment times as more of a suggestion. I, on the other hand, who have always struggled with timekeeping, take pride on the fact that I can usually manage to do my appointments on time, if not early. It would be interesting if they work somewhere like, you know, where you had to like make appointments for like a passport or something. And it's like, oh, that's why those places are always late. At one point, when he was meant to be shadowing me, he came back from lunch 10 minutes after the appointment time, at which time I was in the middle of seeing a customer. He asked me if he could join, and I said, no, we're in the middle of it now, maybe the next one. Afterward, he seemed very apologetic and said it wouldn't happen again, but it kept happening almost every day. The breaking point. On the day that Raj was supposed to begin doing the appointments himself, and I was meant to just sit back and watch him, I made sure to remind him that we would begin doing so after lunch. His first appointment was supposed to begin at 1:25, which I repeated twice to him, and he even said it back. At 1:20, I was back at my desk expecting him to be there, eager to do his first appointment, but he was nowhere to be found. 1:25 and nothing. At 1:27, he gets back to the office, chatting with people as he walks in, taking his time and asking me how my lunch was. I tried keeping my usual smile on, but reminded him his appointment was meant to have already begun. He laughed it off, asking,
What, are you gonna dock my pay 2 minutes or something? Don't worry.
Time is not a suggestion, my dear. Especially when it comes to other people's time. Only then did he start preparing for his appointment, which I can do in about 2 to 3 minutes, but he takes longer. So at around 1:35, he finally calls out for the customer. However, in his rush, he did not notice that there was a note on the client's account saying his appointment would be a virtual one and not an in-person one. This is the thing about not being on time. In a workplace environment, say that you're always like a little bit late. It takes time to get sorted. I like to start my meetings and sit down at my computer a couple of maybe 10 minutes before the meeting starts, or longer if there's, let's say, a contract that I need to look through, like a pitch deck that I need to look through, so that when I'm on the call, I understand exactly what is going on. While he was late, he could have been preparing for his first appointment by himself. He would have known that the appointment is virtual instead of just calling out and assuming that the person was in the office. So instead of the client coming to our desk, her husband does, who coincidentally was there for his own separate appointment. They exchange a very confused conversation while I sit back and watch him try to understand what just happened.
I gotta confess, even though I was pissed at him, I was holding back laughter at this point. The husband then had his name called, and he went to his appointment still looking a bit confused, while Raj turned to me and asked if he should mark the customer as not attended. I asked him if he read the note in big bold letters right at the top of her online file, to which he whipped back around to look at, and stood there for a moment with his mouth open. This is where I may have been kind of an a-hole, and indirectly said, "I told you so." I told him that being on time does matter, and we should ideally be preparing for the next appointment 5 minutes before it's due to begin, so that we have plenty of time to look at any notes and not cause any confusion. This is true in like so many respects. Like, it doesn't really matter if what kind of job it is. Like, even when I was like auditioning, you would never want to show up late to an audition, otherwise you literally wouldn't be able to audition. You wanted to sit down, prepare, get into character, get locked in. There are so many instances in which showing up on time is actually showing up late. And I don't say that because I'm or whatever. It is because I've had so many jobs where showing up on time, you literally were already late because you're not ready to start. You need to be ready to start at your start time. However, he then started to get angry and nearly shout,
"What do you want me to do? You want to dock my pay for 2 minutes? Dock my pay. I don't care. I was late because I was talking to my manager. So what? I'm not allowed to talk with my manager?"
Sounds a little spicy. I was so shocked with his reaction that I just got up while he kept on saying,
"Oh, that's how it's going to be? Is that really how it's going to be?"
I got up and went straight to his manager and noped out of training him. I do firmly believe that showing up on time is a respect thing. Showing up late consistently and not caring about other people's time, it's evidence of like a wider issue about respect. When you don't respect other people's time and you don't even respect your own, because now you're showing up at work, you're flustered, you don't know what's happening, respect yourself and respect other people by showing up early, if not right on time, and honestly, make it so that people can depend on you. Manager heard what I had to say, told me they in fact had not spoken at all since earlier that morning. Oh, okay, so he lied, and asked me to put all of this in writing as Raj is still in probation and this would need to be added to his file. I do feel bad about how things went down, and I hate the fact that I had to snitch on him, so I have to ask, am I the a-hole? No, first, the 2 minutes thing might not have been a big deal or whatever. It just was a sign of his lack of respect. And his reaction to you training him so that he can do his job better, because it did affect his job, was to get defensive and to get kind of like aggressive, honestly, and start getting mad at you because you're just doing your job by training him. He should be thanking you. I think Raj is quite full of himself, not the a-hole. You are not. Just imagine working every day with him. No, no, no. Being late and unprepared was bad enough, especially since he should be trying to impress you, but then outright lying? Nope. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time that he's working on his own. He better get everything right. That's under his control. Mistakes are bound to happen, but like the one thing that you can control about how people perceive you, especially at a new job, is to be on time. But yeah, the lying is like cray cray. OP responds, "That was the worst part for me. When I was explaining everything to the manager, he was like, what? There was no meeting? I haven't seen him since before lunch." Someone responded, "You didn't snitch on him. You gave valid feedback on his performance as his training officer. His poor time management skills, combative attitude, and poor performance are all on him." And that's on period, honey. You were training him and he's under probation. Everyone should know that when you're starting a job, it's kind of like, you got the job. This is a time period in which they can still fire you pretty easily. Be on your best behavior. So we do have an update. Thank you to everyone for your kind and hilarious words. I do have a tendency to second guess myself, and reading y'all's perspectives helps a lot. I hope one day maybe the potato queen herself reads this, even if it doesn't make it into a video. Ask and you shall receive, honey. I'm right here. Since the last incident, Raj and I have been friendly in the office, but also kept a safe distance. I have noticed him doing some odd things that I'll list before the juicy update. When speaking to a colleague, I noticed they did something different to their hair, and I made sure to tell them they looked absolutely fabulous. Raj chipped in to say something like,
"Oh, so I get a fresh new haircut, but colleague gets all the praise?"
and laughed. Awkward. When playing foosball in the break room with two other colleagues who were much better than Raj and I, we kept losing our shots over and over, and the guys were laughing and making fun of him, as they do with everyone. I could tell he was getting worked up, and I jokingly said that us both could definitely get some practice in later. He then said,
"Me? I don't need practice. Can't a guy have an off day?"
Okay. Feedback is normal. It's easier to just take it in stride than to get like weird about it, you know? This wasn't even feedback. You were like joking about the fact that you also aren't very good at this, and he took that so personally.
Okay, juicy update. While chatting with a colleague today, let's call him Matt, he said he had a falling out with Raj. He went on to say that he noticed Raj was doing something wrong at his appointments, which was costing both the customers and us a lot more time. I won't get into detail so it's not obvious where we work, but basically Matt said, hey, I noticed you've been doing X, but actually in those appointments, you need to do Y, and explain why it needed to be different. Well, Raj interrupts Matt, who's the chillest person ever, by the way, and tells him he doesn't like his tone, and proceeds to throw a hissy fit saying that sounded wrong and that he will just keep doing the appointments his own way. As if my flabbers weren't already gasted, Matt also said he had a chat with our manager, who just listened, nodded along, and said, well, Raj is making my decision about his probation review that much easier, isn't he? Coming from someone who's an actor, in order for actors to do a good job, we need direction. We need a director to tell us to try things in a different way. Not necessarily because we're doing things wrong, but also just to get like a variety of different emotions, a variety of different feelings from the takes, and also to bring out the best in you. I might think that I know how something is said in a script. A director could give me feedback that could literally bring it to life. Back in the day, you would always have to say thank you after the feedback and get into the habit of saying, oh my gosh, yeah, honestly, thank you. I honestly didn't think about it that way. Or, you know what, that's actually a great idea. Thank you. Say thank you to the feedback. Have that in your head, that it's not someone trying to pick you apart and tell you that you're doing a bad job. It's just feedback. It's advice. It's someone who's been there longer than you or might know a little better than you or sees things differently than you, telling you that maybe you should try it like this. I want you to win. This is good. I feel like we're doing good. Good lessons here. Not the a-hole. I hate being late to anything, to the point I'm always 10 to 15 minutes early. You said the appointment was supposed to be at 1:25. At 1:30, I'd be pissed and moving on with whatever else I had to do for the day. Later on, I guarantee I'd be sending a rather angry letter about having my afternoon wasted. If this dude can't be on time to his appointments, then he's in the wrong line of work. With that being said, everybody tends to get like a little testy whenever I bring up the fact that I don't like being late and that it's a respect thing. Let me just help you understand that that feedback is to help you do better in life. It's not to make you feel about being late. It's about helping you get to a better place in your life, to make the people around you feel respected, to make your working situation better. Being on time is a show of respect. Even better if you can be early. My coworker wants me to knit for free. Now I can't knit at work. We got another one from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. I love to knit, and I've always had multiple projects on the go. I knit at work on all of my breaks, and occasionally I'll make things for people if they pay for all the supplies, and I'm also interested in making what they want. I've said no to a lot, like the guy who wanted custom golf club covers, or the lady who wanted a sweater that was basically all cables and color work, lol. Basically, don't ask me to make anything that requires a lot of effort because I will hate it and never finish it. Anyway, not that long ago, a newer coworker came by and started asking questions about my knitting. She pulled up a pattern on her phone for a full-size blanket and asked if I could make it for her. I browsed the pattern and it was pretty simple. The only difficult thing about it was how long it would take. And it also required 25 balls of yarn. I figured why not, because it was pretty mindless knitting and I could do it while watching TV without much effort. I told her it would take around 6 months because it was so big and I would only be able to work on it at home, and that all she had to do was purchase the yarn of her choice and bring it to work and I'd knit it up for her. For free? That's a nice thing to do. She immediately got red-faced and was like,
Wouldn't that cost a lot? And I want it by Christmas.
I was like, yeah, it would. And there's no way I could have it done by Christmas even if I wanted to. It would definitely take me 6 months. She goes on,
Well, you're always knitting. Don't you have a huge stash of yarn at home? Can't you just use that stuff?
The stash at home is immaterial. Oh, well, you already have this.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
She's just asking you to pay for the materials and you don't even want to do that? Wow. No, I do not. I do not have a stash at home. I use it all. And I certainly do not have that many balls of yarn in the same color. I don't live in a yarn warehouse. It was so freaking awkward. And I just said, if you want me to knit the blanket, I've told you how it works on my end. I'm not paying for it and I can't get it done in under 2 months. Wow. Very reasonable. She was flustered and said,
Whatever.
and left the room, so I thought that was over. A couple of days later, my boss swings by when I'm alone in my office and mentions that coworker came to see him, and she thinks I'm being unfair to her because I knit for other people, and that I was mean to her when she asked me, what? Why is your boss getting involved? I explained what happened and he rolled his eyes and suggested I stop knitting at work if it's gonna cause problems. Oh, be for real right now. Why is this now your problem? That is so annoying. So now I've been bringing a book to read on my breaks just to avoid any drama. I think it's really stupid, but I don't want to be seen as a problem employee over someone's stupid entitled tantrum about knitting. Ugh, that's so unfortunate, and you really enjoy it too. That sucks. Your coworker and boss are a-holes. From now on, I would occasionally knit at work, but never ever knit anything for free for coworkers. That's the ticket, because it's like, well, you made one for her for free. Oh, don't you like me? No, I don't. I don't like you. I totally agree. That coworker is a cheap jerk and your boss sounds like a wimp. You did nothing wrong. I'd continue knitting. You did nothing wrong. If they feel uncomfortable about it, too bad. What you do on your break is nobody's business. Unless it was like something really bad, but you're just knitting, so... OP said, yeah, my plan is to stop for a while and start up again when everything's cooled down. I really don't like work drama and I will do anything to fly under the radar. I don't like being perceived by management. I mean, I don't know. You said you have an office, just knit with the door closed. If I were you, I would take what you just posted here and send it in an email from your work email address to your home email address. I want you to have documentation in case this becomes a bigger work issue. Yeah, literally, what is he gonna do? Fire you for knitting on your break? It's probably a good idea to have a record of that. But I find it odd your boss seems to have like an issue with you knitting.
Messing with the office culture. It's gonna be a problem.
It was literally not a problem until Karen over here made it a problem. Miss Entitled Susan Karen. Am I the a-hole for telling my new work colleague that she has no right to control our office habit?
What habit is that?
I, 35 male, have been working in this office for 3 years. We recently hired a new girl, 25 female, and she sits diagonally in front of me so I can see her at my desk and vice versa. We're around 1 meter apart. She's been working for 3 weeks and has been trying to control our office habit based on her liking. Here are the issues that have been happening and what triggered me to do what I did. 1. I have an unhealthy eating habit and snacking a lot during work. She mentioned twice, jokingly, said how I tempted her for eating cakes and how can I stay skinny even though we eat like pigs. I offered her some and she refused, saying she's trying to lose weight. So she's food shaming you? Why is what you eat any of her business? Fine, I stopped snacking on my desk, but my other colleagues and I still have lunch at the desk when we are quite busy. Then by the end of the first week, she reported to HR to say people should not have lunch or eat at their desk because it can be unhygienic and the crumbs might fall into the keyboard and attract bugs.
You should bring up that it increases productivity.
She also mentioned how she was annoyed by me eating ice cream, cakes, bread, etc. during work hours, and it disturbs her because she's trying so hard to lose weight. So HR sent us all emails and now everyone in the office, everyone can no longer eat anything at our desk. Be for real right now. Get out of here. Seriously? On her second day, she complained that the girl that sits next to her, Jane, was using a very strong perfume, one where the scent nauseated her. Jane did wear strong perfume, but it wasn't horrible. All of us could tolerate Jane, and suddenly, because this new girl couldn't tolerate her, and Jane was the one that had to change. Kind of just seems like this person is just like also getting a little comfortable really like right off the bat. Talk about making the office environment toxic. Super controlling and weird. 3. Between our team, 6 of us collect $10 weekly to buy lottery. One of the guys in our team is Muslim and he doesn't gamble, so he never participated, but he never discouraged or criticized us. We offered this girl to join us and she criticized about how gambling is bad and say it's very unprofessional to be collecting money and to gamble in an office environment. She actually brought this to HR, arguing the harm and risk, and if we happen to win millions of dollars and did a massive exodus, it would be harmful for the company. Luckily, HR didn't do anything about it. This is like part of your like office culture too, and she's just coming in and just like nitpicking. Can people just like stop being the fun police? Like, please? Not everything has to be catered to you. Not everything has to be by your rules. Stop trying to control other people. Number 4. The Muslim guy prays twice per day in our stationery room. Unfortunately, we don't have a praying room in the office. He also has his praying mat and some other stuff in our stationery room, and it's been there since I started working. She suggested to him to move it somewhere else, as he shouldn't put personal belongings in a common area. Is she like a manager or something? Who made her the boss of you guys? She told the other girl on our team that the old mat was not pleasant to look at. Go away! Leave people alone! Okay, so on to what happened today. Our desks are laid
laid out like an L shape, and my desk is next to a glass window. In our team, there are 7 people, excluding her, and all of us hate the sun. We always pull down the shade, especially the guys sitting on the other corner. They say if the window's open, the sun would glare on their computer screen in the afternoon and make it so they can't see their screen. This girl has been complaining about how our corner is too dark and gives bad vibes, and she needs to have the shades opened up. This is a Karen in the making. She's only 25, buddy. She mentioned how the sun will make people happier and increase productivity. Well, not if you can't see the computer screen. She's not a manager. She's literally like a newbie. Why is she throwing her weight around and like acting like she's the boss here? I couldn't stand her anymore. So I stood up from my desk and I didn't yell. Look, insert name. You have been here for less than a month, but you keep telling us what to do. We've been changing our habits to accommodate you, but you keep pushing things. You can't keep telling us what to do. I think the best thing for you is to sit where the HR people sit, because it's always bright there and you're closer with them to us anyway. She then said, I hate women and I'm bullying her, and she's telling our manager and HR about this. Am I the a-hole here? Did I bully her? Is it acceptable for a new hire to tell older colleagues to do these things? I would say she's throwing her weight around and playing the victim and playing the woman card. No, you're just a bit who also happens to be a woman. I'm sure you'd do the same thing if some dude got hired and he was throwing his weight around like you. I don't think you're the a-hole. I actually think she's the one that's bullying you guys. I don't understand why this person is able to just have so much power. Anyways, small but not so irrelevant update. I was just talking about this with my colleague who works downstairs in storage. I don't often go there, but this new girl has to go there every day as part of her job. He told me a story. In my company, we hired a guy with Down syndrome to do some restocking. Let's call him Bob. Apparently, a couple of days ago, an older lady who works in the kitchen was wearing a Pikachu apron. When Bob saw the kitchen lady, he yelled, Pikachu, then ran and touched the apron. So he would have accidentally touched her chest too. According to my colleague, the older lady just laughed and didn't make much of a fuss. The new girl witnessed this and said Bob has harassed the old lady and she would report him to HR. Lol. She complained that Bob's behavior is very inappropriate and unsafe. I mean, I really think that it's kind of up to the woman in this instance to complain about something like that. If she felt uncomfortable, then that's one thing. Sounds like it was an honest mistake. I still fail to understand why this new hire, literally, she's become your office police person without the title. Update. I didn't expect this to blow up. I'm still getting so many messages. By the way, I've used AI this time to correct my grammatical mistakes. I'm not a native English speaker, and I now understand it's not appropriate to use the word girl when referring to a 25-year-old woman. I didn't realize this before. Thank you for the heads up, Reddit. I showed this post to 2 of my colleagues, and they encouraged me. And I also felt it was necessary to clarify a few things and be fair to respond to some of your questions and comments. She actually complained about a lot of other things that I didn't mention, mostly because I didn't think they were very interesting, and honestly, a few of them even benefited us. 1. So apparently, wearing perfume at the workplace is not allowed. Got it. I guess Jane has been lucky that no one's ever complained before. 2. Her comment about the Muslim guy's prayer mat was more about the way it was positioned in the storage room. Everything else is neatly arranged in wooden cupboards, but in one corner there's a small table with a prayer mat and some religious items. She felt it looked out of place and thought personal items shouldn't be in public or shared areas. That said, the prayer mat has been there since I started, and no one in the office has raised an issue about it for the past 3 years. I wouldn't go so far as to say, oh, it's the aesthetic. Oh, it's like ruining the room. Are you ever in there? This is this guy's religion. Like, can he just like pray? 3. About the skinny or eats like a pig comments, I'm totally fine with it. It's just a part of our internal banter, and I'm the only person who gets body shamed, if you want to call it that way. I do allow people to do so. We don't comment on other people's bodies or eating habits, and no one is being body shamed. 4. There was no HR policy that said we can't eat at our desk, and nobody's complained about it until now. Everyone does it, even in other teams like IT. The new hire's issue doesn't seem to be about allergies or food smells. Her main complaint was she's trying to lose weight and doesn't like watching people eat. She's never brought up concerns about computer damage or bugs until she took it to HR. 5, yes, she's currently on a 6-month probation period. This is not her first job, but her second job. Apparently worked on a company for 2 years. The first job was in a different city, and she praises that company a lot. So I'm just gonna summarize what some of these points are saying. She complained about the IT guy who has a loud ringtone. She complained how one of our colleagues was putting on headphones when working, and she dislikes it when she has to tap on his shoulder when she needs to talk to him. Wait, seriously? She complained about a Filipino woman who brought a smelly lunch to work. Oh my God. You
You have to laugh at this point. This is all within 3 weeks of a new company? Hell no. Also, my colleague told me how he heard how she criticized a few of our Asian colleagues for eating rice with a spoon instead of with a fork. Why does this bother her? She complained about our kitchen garbage not having a lid. She complained about how we should have a coffee machine. Okay, this one would be great. She allegedly reported a female colleague for wearing stilettos to the office, calling it inappropriate work attire. She also apparently reported the kitchen lady for wearing a Pikachu apron, saying it was unprofessional. Oh my God. One of my colleagues genuinely thinks this new hire might be having some mental health issues. Clearly, people are commenting from different parts of the world. Some come from various cultural backgrounds. It's interesting to see how some things are totally normal in one place, but not okay in another. For instance, we've been eating at our desks for years, but apparently, according to some of you, that's a no-no in some workplaces. Well, sadly, it's not okay for us anymore. What's annoying, it just seems like she just has a problem with something that everyone does, and she wants everything to be catered to her. She's not considering what other people in the office want and only going off of what she wants. Okay, on to the next update. So on Monday morning, a few of my colleagues and I had a discussion regarding this new hire behavior, and we decided to talk to our line manager first before HR. Our manager couldn't come to work that day, legit reason. The new hire also didn't come to work, she called in sick. We then changed our plan and decided to go to HR right away. One of the IT guys joined us, as our new hire had harassed him with a lot of unnecessary IT questions and demanded him to make a lot of changes in our IT system. So we offered him to come and join us to report her to HR. He suggested that rather than complaining about how she's annoyed everyone with her complaints, we should pretend to be concerned about her struggle to adjust to our environment and get HR to talk to her because we want her to have a good experience working with us. Ooh, yes. It's like, I'm a team player and I really just genuinely feel like she's not comfortable here. And we just have concerns because we would love it if she was comfortable here. So a few of us then had a meeting with HR, and guess what? HR people were also annoyed by her. They didn't say it directly, but subtly mentioned that she had been lodging a lot of unnecessary complaints. What is with the micromanaging? Like, she's not even a manager. We also suggested she might need to see a psychologist, so she might be having some sort of internal personal crisis that led her to make all these complaints. The IT guy asked if she showed any signs of these behavior when HR interviewed her, and she said she asked a few detailed questions about the work culture here and also complained about some stuff, parking, etc. But they didn't really think much at the time, and she had glowing reviews from her references, probably because they wanted to get rid of her. The HR team said they will discuss this matter and HR will have a one-on meeting with her next time she shows up. But that never happened. She sent in her resignation letter the following day, along with a very long list of complaints and things she wanted us to change. The most ridiculous thing is she actually sent the email to the big boss, complaining about our workplace to be unsafe, unhygienic, non-inclusive, misogynist, backwards, and radiating bad vibes. If anyone is radiating bad vibes, it's her. Because what do you mean you're going to an office and the minute you get there, you start complaining? Like, settle in a little bit. The HR lady who told us found it strange she didn't use the word toxic. One thing the HR found amusing was she mentioned how our workplace should provide a lot of free stuff, such as bottled beverages, fruit snacks, espresso machine, dining vouchers, feminine hygiene products, petrol, etc. In conclusion, good riddance. Oh my goodness. Well, it sounds like she was a little spoiled by her last workplace. I mean, I agree, all those things would be nice. Yeah, good riddance. Cause like, what the actual like, go, like, of all things, like, just while she was complaining, she could have been doing her job. Was she doing all this complaining on company time? Get out of here. So, are you the a-hole for telling your work colleague that she has no right to control our office habits? No. And I hope you enjoy your office cake. Can I have a piece? Subscribe!